kiosk right there. The local computer. Huh?
I couldn't pass up the opportunity to do this voice over recording right here on the beach. But here we are landing in Nassau. It was a very smooth flight and a very light flight. I think it had about 16 people on it. So we had to walk in, go through immigrations, custom, all that kind of good stuff. The airport was very small. The people were very friendly, but girl, they were straight to business. Here's the car that was arranged for me. He was very kind. He took my stuff to the car. The car was nice. I mean, it was a whole experience, okay? I give her 10 points out of 10 for arrival and just for preparing everything for those of us coming in, because I wasn't the only person that got this experience. She did this for every guest that came in to the airport, so that was very beautiful. And by she, I mean my sister. The scenery also very breathtaking, very beautiful. I'm going to tell the guy here in a moment, you're going to hear, but it literally felt like you're on vacation just by the scenery alone. Feels like you're on a vacation before you even do anything. Yeah. The scenery is literally breathtaking.
This is the first time here.
So the cruise ships also dock somewhere around here, which you'll see them later on in this video. But so there's very like mini shops and things like that that are specific, like excursions and things that you can book through the cruise lines, or you can book them if you're going like through the resort as well. So here we are. We can see Atlantis, the resort, from here. And I want to tell you, you know, the Lord is actually on time, because I got my official graduation date on today, my arrival, just as he said. Okay, remember I told you it's not just about a wedding, it's a celebration overall. Here I am arriving at the Reef is where I stayed, and here's the room, girl.
So I think this is a private beach for.
Here is half of the girls' luggage. The bell guy went to get the rest of it. I'm gonna show you the rest of this, girl, after, but I'm about to get myself a shower before everybody gets in. Look, cause they've been here. They've been here. I'm just getting here. I'm so excited. So let me get ready. I'll see you in a bit. I was going to wait for the girls, but I chose to just go down and see what I could see by myself, because, hey, I can go by myself. There's nothing wrong with that. The scenery is beautiful from up here, but I wanted to go down, take a walk, and see what I could see. So I went down in search for some food, really, and, like, a good drink. You know, like an island drink, something in the coconut water, something. I was completely overdressed, but I'll handle that later, because I was walking in the sand all in my shoes, girl. I needed something comfortable, and that wasn't it. Here is the beautiful view next to the beach, and then here's a sandwich I got, a Caribbean jerk sandwich. It was good. You looking at it right, girl. It didn't come with no fries, and I spent about $40, okay, at the little concession stand, but that's okay. I know where I am. Incredibly beautiful scenery, and so beautiful. Here's the view from the room. Girl, waking up to this and going to sleep to this, the Lord is so amazing. He created all of this. It's just so beautiful to be so close and to see. Very, very majestic.
No, you're fine. We got here.
So I think the rest of the video, I'll just do like little montage like that. This is really not about me. We ran into the groom, so beautiful. My sister looks absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited that she is getting the beach wedding of her dreams. And not just her dreams, but she made it a very nice experience for everyone else. And I really do love that. It's not often that you see black people out here having a good, clean, fun time. You know what I mean? Okay? All right.
All you need is some callaloo now.
I look
Oh, that's over. That's over. That's 2 for 10. That's 11.
I'm arrested.
2 for 10. 2 for 10.
Can you help me?
2 for 10.
Can you help me, please?
Oh, you were sorry? Oh.
I didn't get this part in there, but we were laughing so hard because as we went up on the incline to go up the bridge, the transmission literally was like, and then, well, maybe you don't know, maybe you don't know, but it sounded like it didn't really want to take us where we needed to go. And they were like, is that tranny good? Like the tranny as in the transmission. And the man was like, lean forward. And we all just started like literally laughing, but it was so true. And then on the way down, it's like, okay, now we good. And he was like, now you can sit back. It was so funny, like literally hilarious. They had the man laughing so hard, the driver, that they were like, you have to open your eyes and pay attention to the road, because he was they were making jokes, but it was just it was fun. It was very, very fun. It was a good time. And we're having fun out here, okay? And you don't really see too many black people out here. And we're gonna talk about that a little later, because the workers are black, but the people that come and visit the island are not black, because it's so expensive to come and visit. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're not gonna get into it right now, but I'm still out here by the beach. I think I'm gonna go in and just kind of refresh my clothes, see where everyone else is. I'm not really hungry, girl. I'm just chilling. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's small. That's my auntie, that's why. Look, that's my auntie. I had fried shrimp, and it was great.
Okay.
It was really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That sounds good.
Oh, look at that.
The comforters.
Nah, Julio at the Julio.
What is flaming though?
No, the comfort is fried.
Ooh, scandalous is crazy. Look, is that island talk for good now?
Hey, Taz. What's up, Aiden?
returned to the room. It is 11 o'clock p.m. I'm gonna get my PJs, girl. Just made it back to the room. And girl, the garment lady was standing right here. There's literally stuff on every corner of this room. I'm just gonna stand right here just so you can, every corner. And the photographers and videographers and stuff, they're gonna be here tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure that's not what we're going for. It's stuff all over the place. However, they've had such a good time. I don't know how open they're gonna be to coming back here and cleaning up. It is late. Like I said, it's 11:04 at this point. I'm back at the room, but I'm the only person back at the room. And not because I was being a party people, girl, I was having myself a good time. The Lord is so faithful. The Lord is so faithful. I got to, just talk to people, mix, mingle, to see my mother, to see so many people. The Lord is so faithful. He's so good. He's so good. Who's like the Lord? Who is like the Lord? You can't see anything. I know it sounds so nice to have like the ocean right here. And you can kind of see the water coming up, but you can't really see. Like, it's very dark. The ocean, obviously, there's no lights or anything on the sea, except when the ships are coming in. You can still hear it. But it's just very dark. So, they should be coming up here shortly. I'm about to get on my pajamas and get out of the way. It's done. She got married. It was so beautiful. Everybody's out there right now having to get themselves a good time. And I had to come here and use the restroom, okay?
DJ shit with me.
That just reminds you of slave ship. Right. Be like, oh, we going back to the ancestry. I'm not liking it. You having a good time? Look at you, please. So we spent some time hanging out, going on a water slide, skiing in the lazy river. Then we literally went to lay down and take a nap. I didn't take a nap, but my cousins did take a nap. I had myself some cheese fries, enjoyed the scenery. Sorry for my voice. And just kind of laid out until it was time for us to go get ready for dinner. At every point in this property, there is scenery to be seen. It is breathtakingly beautiful. That looks like a picture back there, but it's not. Then we went to, like I said, get some local eats. Here's the coconut. These coconuts were $7 each. And then look at the food. I don't have how much they pay for their food, but here's my plate, and I paid $25 for all of this food, and every bit of it was delicious. Hello. It's so nice to be home. I'm back at home. I don't know what time it is. Probably like 11 o'clock the day after I got home. I have a message though for you. Yes, at the end of such a beautiful vacation, I had to wait. But we're going to just do a little backstory, and we're going to go ahead and end probably this portion of the video. So let's start here. You guys know at this point in time, you've probably seen parts 1 and 2, and part 3 was basically the vacation and my sister's wedding, a very good time. Now, to give a little backstory, I have been to the Bahamas before. I went to the Bahamas. I probably was like, I ain't gonna tell my age. It was probably like 7 years ago since I have been to the Bahamas. And when I went to the Bahamas 7 years ago, I was newly married myself. I was new in a lot of things. And I went out there, I told you, half dressed and acting a fool. But I also got my eyes open to a few things while I was there. Things that I wasn't really learned in. I didn't know, it was a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't know that, God would use my mouth to speak. I didn't know any of those things. But it started on that trip. Aside from like when I was younger and things like that, the knowledge of how big God is began on that trip. And it also led me into a place where I kind of took I don't want to call it a slope down. Some things came undone. Things came undone in my family life. Things began to open up. So to be back there in the Bahamas and to literally see what the Lord had done was a very eye-opening experience for me. It was a beautiful place for, the culmination of a lot of life events. It was a beautiful place to get all the rewards that I did get while I was there. I told you guys through this process, the Lord told me that it would be my graduation trip. Now, he told me it would be my graduation trip before I had finished a lot of those classes, okay? Before I was passing the test, he told me it would be my graduation trip. Literally, when I was at the airport, I was like sitting at my gate when I got my official degree. So God doesn't lie, but I have come to understand that God doesn't lie, which is why I'm going to share with you some of the other things that I learned while I was there. I had a good time, okay? There was a lot of dancing, a lot of food eating, girl, a lot of I had some margaritas, mojito. I didn't have a margarita. I had a mojito. They had some nice drinks. That little famous island coconut. I was not all over the place. I was not getting sloppy drunk. You want to know about drinking, all that kind of stuff? There's another video that I linked for you in another video from a pastor. Let me stop here and tell you that in preparation to go to this is a real video. I'm about to be honest with you. In preparation to go to this wedding, I was like, okay, Lord, I have not drank in a long time. And I really don't want to go to the wedding because I don't want to be in a situation where you're not pleased with my behavior. I know that there will be drinks there. And I know I'm probably going to want one, even though I haven't drank in a long time. And the pastor, it's Bishop Omar. I'll link a card, or you can go find the video if I don't remember to link it. I remember he came out with this video talking about drinking literally at the time where I'm like, Lord, I don't think I should go. I was literally not going to go to the wedding for this cause. And when I watched that video, I got myself a bottle of wine and I was drinking. I was like, okay, just pour a little, not like drink. I mean, like 2 ounces of wine, girl, ain't nothing. Drink me a little wine. And then I came to the conclusion that I don't have to do all of this to prepare to not act a fool somewhere. Lord, you will keep me. So I was very excited to know that, no, you can have a good time. You can have a good time. You can have a good time. You can mix and mingle with your friends. You don't have to be so stale and stuck just because you love Jesus. That's not how this thing goes. So that was nice. Also, the plane ride. I hadn't taken a plane ride since basic training. And I was, of course, a little nervous about that. And literally the Lord reminded me that the earth that you stand on belongs to me. Those clouds, I made them. And the heavens above the earth, I made it too. You're going to be okay. That was literally what he was telling me as the plane was going like this into the air. So the rest of the vacation, the girl was getting on water slides and everything. The rest of the vacation, he just reiterated and continued to remind me that he is God. He's not just God when you're safe and when you feel okay at your home, but he's God when you're in a new space. He's God when you're unsure. He's God when you're in need. He's God when you're sick. He's God. He's God. And the beautiful thing is, Lord, there's nothing, no one, I'm at a stage in my life now where there's nothing that can separate me from his love. And I know it. There's nothing that can separate you from his love, but maybe you don't know it. But this trip really brought that into perspective for me, and I was truly grateful. I've talked a lot about family stuff here. I'm not going to use this video to go into detail about that, but I got a chance to see my mother, which was very nice. My sister, of course. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. I will say this because you know what channel you're here on. When I came to the Bahamas, immediately I was rushed with this realization that we're the same people. And not only was I rushed with this realization that we're the same people, and I'm talking about Black people, we're the same people. I was compelled to share it every time I was realizing it. I realized something that when we came there, so the resort we stayed at was Atlantis, which is pretty expensive, right? So you don't see a lot of Black people there at the resort, but Black people work at the resort because the Bahamas is full of Black people, okay? And there are nicer areas in the Bahamas, but guess what? The Black people don't live there. And when I saw this immediately in coming in, I realized that the same thing that's happened to us here in America is happening to Black people all over the world. And I've talked about this to you before, that no one can take you away from God's punishment towards you. When you think about slavery, if you think slavery was a white person's idea, you are sadly mistaken. Slavery was a part of a punishment for people, a group of people, period. So I came to this realization that we're all the same people. And as long as you're like respectful and you don't think of yourself as more highly than these people, you will have yourself a good time. I will tell you that. So it was a good time. I was sharing that realization with a lot of them. Girl, whether it was, picking up my hamburger or whatever, I was like, you black people just act the same everywhere. It was just a good time. It was so good to see that. It was so good to see that. And you know what else? We're treated poorly all over the place too. The Caucasian people, they don't go there treating them better than they treating you here in America. I want you to know that. I want you to know that. So we share in that commonality, if you will. I remember we were taking a taxi and I was over tipping everybody. I was over tipping everybody because I understand that where they're living, they're literally running on tourism. And the crazy thing is, you will take your behind there. Now, you spent all this money to get over there. You take your behind there and then you barely want to tip the people. It's ridiculous when you know they're literally running on tips. So I was giving $10 and that's a lot of money to them. Okay. I was like tipping. Okay. Because my thought process is, if I can sit here and spend, $40 for a hamburger and a drink, why can't I give you a bigger tip when I know you're not going to get a part of the $40? So we were taking taxis and stuff like that to different places. And we took a taxi ride in particular. And um, we tipped the guy $5. So as a collective, we tipped the guy $5. The taxi ride was $25, even though the ride was really like, if you would take an Uber that distance here, it probably would cost you like $8, but the ride was $25. And so we went, we left them a little $5 tip, and they were concerned about how we're going to get back. I was just thinking like, trust me, they're gonna find a way to get us back. They know that we're tourists out here. They're looking to make their money just like, we're looking to get place from here to there. We went to go out to eat. And so the guy was like, you know what? It doesn't make any sense for me to go back to wait around at the hotel, just wait here for you guys. He literally waited. He waited for the food. The food didn't come out swiftly. And I'm gonna talk about that here in a second. The food didn't come out swiftly. They weren't giving no, American service. Okay. They were taking their time. It was one waitress, sorry, for all of the tables. And not only was it one waitress for all the tables, but she was serving food and then she was getting drinks from the place next door. One staff. She probably was back there cooking the food too. Okay. So he said he was going to wait. So he was waiting there a long time. And after we were done eating, we went over to the car, to go back. And long story short, we ended up tipping him. So the ride again to go back was $25. We gave him $75 because he was saying that those $5, he was like, he was so grateful for those $5. And he was saying that, people come here. He was asking where we were from. And the family, my family's from Louisiana. The groom's family's from Louisiana. Most of the people, they were from Louisiana, with a little sprinkles of them being from other places, right? So he was like, yeah, people, the black people in Louisiana, they're a little bit different, from, let's say, he was saying like places like New York and things like that. We do behave a little bit different. It feels as though the people from the North are kind of removed from some of those harsh realities that we have to deal with here. But I told you in a video recently that it's not that they're different. You're fooling yourself into thinking that they're different. It's just they're harder to detect. And some of you just want to just live in la la land and then act like this not existing. It's existing not in the same way, but it does still exist. Okay. So they won't necessarily to your face tell you that you can't get the job. They'll just look at your application and be like, oh, this person's black, they're not gonna get the job. Whereas in the South, it's like, no, you could feel it's the racism that you could feel. Okay. So he was saying that the people from Louisiana, they're a lot different. And we were like, we hear that a lot. They say you're more hospitable and things like that. And he was like, no, like some people get in the car, they're black. And they'll get in the car and they'll treat me like I'm less than. And he was like, I don't know, why are we being punished? And when he said that, it really just struck my spirit. Like what has happened to black people around the world is sure enough a punishment. And you are far, 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 far behind if you don't realize that it's not a punishment that the government put on you. It's not a punishment that a certain group of people put on you necessarily. This is a punishment that is coming from above. Period. If you don't realize that, you're very far behind. And let me tell you something. I'm going to skip very quickly because the Lord told me that knees would bleed. Imagine I'm at a beautiful wedding. I'm having myself a good time. The beach, the sand, the whole thing. I just graduated. Such a beautiful experience. He told me knees would bleed. Now, if you remember, another reason why I didn't necessarily want to go on vacation is because he told me that the United States will be uninhabitable. He told me this before they cut out the food stamp, before some of the things that you're seeing going on right now. He told me that this will happen. And you're not new here. You understand. Okay. So I'm like, Lord, do I really need to be going on vacation when you say where I'm living is going to be uninhabitable? And he told me to proceed. So I did proceed. But he told me while I was there that knees would bleed. And I'm like, Lord, what do you mean? And he said knees would bleed from the amount of repentance, the amount of denouncing and renouncing that you people will be doing. And I've said you people, I'm including myself in there too. But I'm not hardening my heart to the fact that there are things that repentance is necessary. No. So I'm talking to you. And if it is you, you had better begin now. Because what he was saying, knees will bleed. He was saying knees will bleed like the feel that I was getting of him saying, he was saying knees will bleed as in you're going to be so sorry. You're going to be so desperate that you will be dragging. You will be crying after him. You ever seen somebody who's desperate, who's like, at all costs, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna chase you. But they can't, they're not even strong enough to walk on their feet. They're literally going through rocks with their knees. This is the feel, the picture that I was getting. That knees will bleed. You will be so sorry. And the thing that he brought up specifically was sororities and fraternities. He told me that your knees would bleed. You disrespect him. You disrespect him with your poems, with your riddles, with your chants, with your steps. He said, if you want Satan to be your God, have at it. But those of you who want to turn, you're going to wait. You're going to wait until literally the place where you're living at right now, the place where you think you have all these freedoms, especially you black people, the place that you think that you have all these freedoms. He told me that your knees would bleed with denouncing and renouncing, that you will denounce and renounce your way to him. There's a video that I made for you guys. I think it was last year sometime where he said, I will bend you. I will bend them until they have nothing else but me. And I told you, thus says the Lord. He gave me this. Imagine a beautiful scenery. He said knees will bleed. He was so angry. He said knees would bleed. So if you find yourself in one of these sororities and fraternities, I'm telling you right now, the Lord is not playing. I don't care. And the crazy thing is, when I was on my way from the, I was coming back home, I saw this video, and I will link it with Travis Green, which I don't follow any of these people. So it just literally popped up on my timeline with Travis Green talking specifically about himself being a part of fraternity. And I said, God, I will say the message. I will not, because there was a lot of that going on where I was. I told you guys, I have a sibling who's a part of these groups. A lot of her friends were a part of these groups. So I'm looking at them and I'm seeing normal people. I'm seeing people who, yes, want happiness. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for helping me. Yes, want marriage. Yes, want love. Yes, want, they're normal people. But they've also taken these oaths and these vows, and they don't realize that these oaths, that these vows, that these things that they say over their life are in direct opposition to God. Direct. It doesn't matter if you think that you can mix the two together. I'm telling you right now that you cannot. But some people won't listen, which is why I didn't waste my breath. He told me, don't worry about it, Tanzania. Knees will bleed. Knees will bleed. Knees will bleed. He will break backs. Knees will bleed. So that's really it. And I also want to say in that, if you've been struggling, or maybe even your spouse, because I know a lot of women, especially, when you're younger, you think that's cute to have yourself a little frat boy or whatever. A lot of these men are struggling with homosexuality. And what the Lord was showing me was, there was a video that I made for you also sometime last year. The Lord is on time. His time is impeccable. Sometime last year, where I told you that I saw the guys, they were all blindfolded in a shower, and there was a ritual that was going on. And the ritual, the blood that was being slung on them was blood from a sodomy ritual. That's what I was seeing. I did not know that, but that's what I was seeing. And you told me this was a part of what these guys go through. Some of them know, and some of them do not know. And so when I'm looking at them and I see homosexuality so deep in the midst, I understand that a part of that ritual basically initiates them into the sin of homosexuality, basically initiates them into this lifestyle. So you start to struggle with things, yes, like perversion, like like same to same. It's a very twisted thing that you get yourself into. Again, I'm not going to use this video to talk about that entirely. We will most definitely talk about that here coming up. I just want to tell you that the vacation was a success, that the wedding was a success, and that God truly is faithful and that he rewards those who diligently seek him. I want to tell you as well that love your neighbor, love your brother and your sister, love those who are in Christ with you, love your people. And when you can give, I literally hear Pastor talking about this in there right now. When you can give, give. When you can help someone, when I'm telling you right now, we spent a lot of money to go there on that vacation. And then for people to turn around and be stingy with these people who you know need it most is the most terrible thing ever. I was tipping people left and right because I know how much they needed it. I was telling you the story of that taxi driver. That taxi driver broke down. And you know what he said? Now myself and my daughter can finally do something. And you're thinking to yourself, baby, if that little money, that was our thought process. If $5 changed your life, let's see what we can do about that. Let's see how much more we can give you. So that's what I have to say. Just don't turn your eyes away from people who are in need, and also stop trying to run behind people who don't want the truth of the gospel. That's that Jesus Christ can save anyone who realizes that it's only him who can save you. None of us, I heard Stephanie Gretzinger say recently, none of us were more in need than the other person when we found Jesus. Okay. So it's not about being judgmental. At the point of salvation, I was not in more need than you, and you were not in more need than me. Yes, it may have shown up in different ways. Yes, you might need freedom from krapaka. You might need freedom from addiction or whatever it is. It might be a very wide range of things. It might have been different than my experience, my salvation experience. Nevertheless, neither one of us were more in need than the other. Thank you, Jesus. I'm reminded that when I was on the plane, I began to cry because the Lord told me, Tanzania, I really do set the captive free. I really do set the captive free. Fear doesn't have to run you. Lack doesn't have to run you. Worry doesn't have to run your life. He really does set the captive free. So as always, if you have a question to ask one girl, stay tuned and watch this journey with me as much as I have time to share because my feet are on the ground and I'm moving. Okay? Bye. Until next time.